Okay, so full disclosure, this might meander all over the place because I kind of know what I'm doing, but I've not actually set anything up. So I'm just going to share my ideas and hopefully it will help others who are thinking about their 2026 planner lineup and how they're going to set things up. So let's get into this. If you're new around here, welcome to my channel, Planning with Chloe, and if you're not, welcome back. So I am a little bit all over the place, but not. Now I'm currently using these three planners. I've got a traveller's free diary this is a Moterm. I will put the name on the screen. I can't remember exactly what they call this, but this is the standard Traveller's Journal size cover from Moterm in the veg tan, and I want to say this was apricot, so it's really patinaed and aged a lot darker than what it originally was. And then I just use this as it's kind of like gratitude journal, memory keeping. I'm not very good at doing the whole memory keeping side of things. Like a lot of these pages where I'm meant to stick stickers and like junk journal and put pictures, I've not been that great at, but on the other page, which I'm currently not showing, I've got lots of just daily gratitude. So I'm going to still keep this in my lineup, and I have got a refill for it for 2026. So I'm not really going to change anything here. I'm kind of happy with this, but kind of not using it to its full potential. Some of the other inserts I've got in here, this one is the Traveller's Company. I think this was the sketchbook one, not the watercolour paper one, although I have ended up doing some watercolour in there. And then behind here I've just got, I'm not sure where this one came from, but it's just another little book where I can test some paintbrush techniques, trying to get, you know, the flow of the watercolour from the brush and whatnot. And then behind that I've got a final one, a gridded one, and I won't show that because that one's just like sermon notes. And then the pen that I'm using here is the JINHAO extra fine. I think it's extra fine. No, fine, just fine. The JINHAO fine. I can't remember the name of this exact one, but it was inexpensive. It's cheap and cheerful. I like it, and I've put green ink in there, so that's kind of fun with the green of this cover. Anyway, so that's that little stack. It kind of feels like a done deal. But moving on, my work planner and my personal life planner. Now, I did think that I was going to use this Moterm Luxe in the cream croc. So these two are Filofaxes. On the right, I've got the Filofax original in the colour stone, and this is my work planner, as I said. Very simple setup, mainly for taking notes from client meetings, hence why I've got the alphabetical A to Z dividers here, so I can just slot the client's notes under the letter for their name, and it just makes life really easy for me. And then the one on the left is Filofax Molden in the colour ochre, and again it's just a really simple setup that I've been using in here. I use the monthly dividers from Filofax, and then I just put all of my months in here so that I can do all of my planning. I can do an overview of the month. I can just future log things into the relevant month because they're all in here. And I just found that really streamlined my system. I did have a quarterly. Where has it gone? I did have a quarterly where I was meant to do the future login before transferring it into the relevant month and week, but it just felt like too much of a duplication, and it made more sense to put those like important dates, meetings, things that are booked in at a dedicated time and date, to just put them straight onto the monthlies so that there's not this duplication, so that I can just streamline everything. So I'm probably going to get rid of having the quarterly for future login, and instead I've got a different plan which I'll share in a moment. But anyway, so the planner that I'm in at the moment, as I said, Malden, I try and have quite a simple setup in terms of monthly overviews, weekly planning. But I was thinking maybe starting this month, December, I would go into my Moterm Luxe. This is the first version in the cream croc. So it has, the first version had the pen loops next to each other. So the flyleaf has the pockets with the pen loop that is in the alignment with the pen loop on the back cover, and then you didn't have the little flap over the zip, the little zip protector there. So yeah, those are the differences between the Moterm Luxe and the Moterm Luxe 0.2 or whatever they call it. So I was thinking of going into this because I really love this colour. I love the texture of this cover as well. But then I spotted, dun, 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 I spotted, and sorry for the glare because it's still got the plastic on it, I spotted this on eBay. And actually, in fact, all of these are pre-loved planners. This one was from a buy sell trade group on Facebook, and then the Filofaxes I found on eBay. So let me just get the plastic off this. Now this is a Filofax Calypso, and I'd been looking at a red planner for a while, and I thought maybe I could get the Filofax Saffiano, but that's not real leather. How long will it last? Then maybe the Malden in the burgundy is quite a nice look. I could potentially do that, but I wanted something different, so I never really pulled the trigger on it until I spotted this on eBay. It's full leather, A5 size, and it has the little mock croc effect on the closure strap here, and I just thought that that was such a beautiful combo. And then on the inside, a similar-ish sort of setup to the Malden in that you've got the vertical card slots on the left, but instead of having the zipped pocket on that front cover, inside front cover, you instead have a zipped pocket at the back. Now I don't really use the zipped pocket, so I'm not really that bothered, but I just thought this was so beautiful. Also, because there aren't a whole bunch of pockets and there's no back pocket, it's really compact. The ring size is, I think, 25 millimeters. The inner ring size is 25 millimeters. So I just thought maybe I could give this a go, because like I said, I'm trying to condense things down and not do too much duplication in my planner, and I do want it to just be a way of keeping me organized in the things that I need to do and keep a track of during my weeks and days. So I'm thinking actually I'm going to move into this for December, and then in terms of the setup, I am thinking, I've got my little stash of inserts. So I was thinking what I would do to reduce the bulk in my planner, rather than having the cotton or cream cotton monthly Filofax dividers, maybe I'll just go ahead and print my monthly overviews onto card, because what I was finding when they were printed on paper and I had them all in there, because I cut slits in the holes just to make it easier to remove and write down things onto the insert, they were getting a little bit worn and a little bit like curling and dogged. So I figured that I would print it on card so it'd be a little bit more, it would have some more longevity. But the problem with that is once I use the dividers as well, I'm adding bulk. And although yes, they The stock used on the Filofax dividers it's quite thin. I mean, it is a very lightweight card. I wouldn't quite describe it as a thick paper. I would describe it as a very thin card. So it doesn't add a great deal of bulk, but I just thought, can I reduce that extra layer? So yeah, I'm thinking that, and I don't love this, I just printed these out on some transparent sticker sheets and cut them out and stuck them on, and I hated every moment of it because it was such a mission cutting these out and then trying to line them up, and on some of them a little bit of paper got stuck in them and they're not perfect, and I may end up redoing this. I don't know, I need to rethink this, but so far I am liking the idea of having it printed on a kind of lightweight card so it's a bit more durable. And then behind that I'm going to have my tracker. So I've got a monthly tracker that is dated for the month, so that's good, so I don't have like wasted space at the end of a month when there aren't 31 days. And this just prints sequentially, so when I get to February I just flip it over and put that in there. So that's quite good. I could probably print the entire lot out for the year and put them in so that they're all done and dusted, because it's only 6 sheets. And then I'm going to have the inbox, which I might rethink this because, again, I started the year strong, and I may have to blur this out, but I started the year strong in that I was using almost the entire sheet to log both sides, that is, to log all of the incoming things that I needed to keep in my mind. But towards the end of the year, I've found that I am not using this insert as much, and maybe I need to step my game up, or maybe I need to just let it go, or maybe I need to rethink this. So in terms of rethinking it, what I might do is do a little half-page like tip-in style thing, and this isn't it, but this is just an example of having a little tip-in that you can put within your, say, your week, and then you've just got track of those things. That might work out better. I'm not sure, we'll see. But then I'm going to need to condense this insert down to be able to fit onto a half sheet. And then behind that I'm going to have my weeklies. I'm still going to use the horizontal weekly, I think, for now. And this is undated. But then I got these little, let's take it out of the pack so you haven't got the glare. I've got these little papery plan marker sticky notes to do, or it says make a memo, but it's basically a little to do with tick boxes. And the reason I picked this up was because what I'm finding on this horizontal weekly, because space is kind of limited, I tend to turn to a page, turn to this one. So I tend to do a little sticky note, which is these grid sticky notes. This was a block that I cut in half, but to just get my to-do list for the day written out, I would write it out on the grid and draw a little box and tick things off as I go, and then when that day is done I can just remove it and then add another one in for whichever day I need it. Typically my days off, so a Friday and a Sunday, I need to do a bit more of list making of the errands and things that I need to get done in that day. But with this, although it's great, it does work, if I want to have a space between things, it gets a little bit messy and it felt a little bit all over the place. So when I saw these little to-do sticky notes, and I got these from the journal shop when I was purchasing the Traveller's Notebook insert, I thought, well, yeah, this will be quite good. I've got a good number of tick boxes and lines to write things on, and I can just put the date in the little lozenge shape at the top. So yeah, I'm thinking that would be quite a good combo in here. I might not hole punch it, or maybe I could hole punch it up there. It feels like it's a bit thick to have that in the planner, but that is my thought for the days where I've got a little bit more going on. So that is that part. And then, yeah, I think this is it in terms of the setup. I might add a bit of a decorative moment at the front of my planner each month with a monthly calendar dashboard. I'm not sure. These inserts, just in case it's not clear, are printables that I created myself. I'll leave a link below if you're interested. So yeah, I created these dashboard with the monthly calendars because I thought it could be quite a nice deco moment up the front of my planner. So those are my initial thoughts. And then my work planner. My work planner, again, a little bit more of a condensing happening here because, I mean, yes, I've got, I think the original is also 25mm rings similar to the Calypso. So I already know I can minimize down from the Malden, which has 30mm rings, and the Moterms, which have 30, well, I typically go for 30mm rings. So I've already started condensing down a little bit. So I know that I can make this work for my personal life planning. But for my work planner, I'm thinking of condensing it down even more and going into a Me Plus notebook. Now this is going to be a lot smaller, so I'm going to have to really change things up in terms of how I use my work planner. It means I'm probably not going to have the A to Z dividers because that will add way too much bulk on these tiny little 16mm gorgeous Krauss rings. So I do have some plans. They're not fully formed, but I know that there's going to be a lot of condensing. I feel like really all I need on the day-to-day for taking client notes during meetings is note paper, a way of sectioning off the different client notes, which I did think maybe I could use these, but now looking at them, they are so humongous. And also, I mean, I love the colours and I love that they're paper, but the quality is like, I mean, most of the stick is actually left on here, and maybe it just dried out in my drawer. I don't know. It kind of tears. It's not perfect. These I got from Flying Tiger, and I'm just, I mean, it's cute, but it's not working. So it doesn't function as intended, and it looks a little bit messy. Currently in this planner, what I tend to do is use, I tend to use these little page flags, and I will just place them within the section. If say I have 2 Annas, then I will just put a little sticky note to indicate where the next stack of notes starts. So maybe I could just use things like this, and I don't know how I'm going to put people's names on it to make it obvious, because these are transparent, so they're plastic, which I can't write on with a gel pen or a pencil or a marker. So yes, there's going to be a lot of condensing in order to get this set up, but this is what I'm going to be using for my work planner, and then I'll just condense and migrate out client notes when the project is finished. So it's going to be a year of condensing, migrating to an archive, keeping things condensed. So we'll see how that pans out for me. Now this video has ended up quite long and I haven't even set anything up, so I think that will have to be a separate video, but that's my thoughts, a little bit of a planner chit chat, sharing my thoughts. And yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I shall catch you in the next one, which will hopefully be a setup of this gorgeous Filofax Calypso as my personal planner. And then I'll do a separate video on setting this up because, yeah, I don't want to be waffling forever. Anyway, I hope you have a great day and are making beautiful plans, and I shall catch you in the next one, planner friend. Bye for now.